Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Oh my god. I was unprepared for what we were getting into.
Yeah, think how I felt. You just told me it was bad, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
And then it happened. And it continued to happen.
Oh my god, X-Arm is possibly it was coined by a man who watches pretty much every anime that comes out as being the worst anime he has ever seen in terms of production and just everything else about it. It's the worst ever. And I'm not gonna lie, having seen it, it's probably the worst thing I've ever watched. And this is coming from a man who has watched Godzilla Power Hour.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, I don't even, like, here's the thing about X-Arm. X-Arm is an anime made by a bunch of people who never made anime and went like, yeah, we can make anime.
I mean, they can. They made this.
They made a thing. I don't know what I would call it.
Anime.
I don't know.
There were animated characters, both in 2D and 3D.
Yeah. The 3D ones were bad. The 2D ones were somehow worse.
It was really good because some of the 2D characters just had like they were cut out on a background, so whenever like the camera moved, their like clothes designs moved as well.
Yeah, and
like
their
the
proportions and
like the army guy, like just stood there and like the background moved.
Oh, dude, it was so clear they were just placed in the shot. They looked like cardboard cutouts.
And it didn't get any better when they put the cardboard cutouts next to the 3D models. And then we're like, no, these belong here.
And they have to touch hands, even though that's literally impossible.
Anyway, the plot of this one. Are we going to do that? We're going to do like a little rundown? I don't know how the fuck we're going to do this.
Yeah, sure. Main character, Kira, he gets hit by a bus. And he wakes up and he's a brain in a thing. And they're like, you caused a mini apocalypse in Tokyo.
Yeah, you summoned black holes everywhere. Also, you were naked.
Bad robot brain thing. Smack, smack. And so he decides that he's going to atone for these crimes that he thinks he did by helping the police with stuff. I believe
by stopping other people from using the X-arms.
I believe he stopped 2 other X-arm users in total before we hit the main plot.
Yeah, he stopped a man who was intangible from all directions except for behind.
For whatever reason.
Somehow, don't ask how that one works.
It's dumb.
He could walk through walls and not get his back caught on the wall.
It's
And then he fought a maid who could, because she was synced up to a dead, like, dried out man, she could, like, open up portals.
Oh shit, no, there's 3 then, because there's the bomber, the human
Oh,
bomber.
fuck, I forgot about the bomber.
Yeah, he's important because his X-arm gets, used.
He can give people tattoos that explode.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and then we get into his, evil twin, and I'm not kidding when I say evil twin.
Yeah.
It's just a clone or machine fucking copy of his brain.
Yeah, that they injected space into.
They injected the evil juice into, and he became evil. And so his brother made a suit called Ogre that we were excited to see because we thought it was a character, but it turned out to just be a suit.
Yeah, it was just it was the most generic looking like battle armor.
Yeah, looked like something I would have thought of when I was 13.
And so it shows up and all it does is use a gun.
Yeah, and then it opens like a mouth for some reason. It's like it's all evil and stuff, and then they And then they like hug Kira, or they hug Ogre, and that brings him back. And it's just like he's just as evil as his evil twin, and then in the middle of protecting a literal living garden gnome, for an auction of X arms, Beta appears as a really annoying, weird avatar emoji thing. And turns out to be a weird man robot thing, and then hacks a bunch of military spider bots.
And then he hacks a stadium and a mega float.
And starts creating a giant face that's reminiscent of the shitty slime persona. And so the auctioneer, who wears a skull mask and it looks like garbage...
No, what are you talking about? It's the best looking mask in the show.
Turns out to be a clone of his brother, because his brother already died, and so they hatch a plan, and they use Deus Ex X-Arm. Deus X-Arm. That's how we'll go with it. That literally can stop time.
Yeah, they fought Flashman and got the time stopper.
Yeah, except it lasts for 10 minutes, so they can talk about shit. And yeah.
So Brother Clone Man is like, use the X-Arm that causes explosive tattoos on me, and then I'm going to explode, and then that'll show you where the brain is, so you can use the black hole gun to get rid of the brain.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
And then, because Cloneman Beta had hijacked a whole bunch of military robots, when they were cleaning up, they logged them into the server, and then they started hacking all the servers around the world. And then they launched a bunch of missiles, and our main guy was like, well, I'm going to blow up all the missiles above Japan, cause an EMP, and I'm going to be outie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the show ended, thankfully.
Yeah. It just ended, and it was just like, alright, cool.
Unfortunately, the lawn gnome survived.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. He was kind of a piece of shit. Anyway, let's just... I mean, I don't know what else to say. I feel like
terrible.
We'll get into it as we go through this plot. There was a plot. It existed. And it made more sense as it went on because it stopped having to pull disparate bullshit together, and we stopped laughing as hard at everything.
Was that because it was making sense, or because we were just tired of it?
I think we stopped looking at how shitty the visuals were and actually started reading again.
Maybe.
Because I wasn't reading for a while. I was looking at how shitty everything looked and losing my mind. I don't know.
I mean, just give it a 1. It had a plot.
It existed.
That's more than you can say about a song. The last episode really didn't need to happen. That all seemed kind of like bullshit, and it's like, yeah, well, we signed for 12 episodes, so...
Yeah,
Here's this mega threat that we're just gonna take care of really easily, actually.
Yeah, they fucking wipe up the last of... and kill off the main character, spoilers.
Nobody cares.
No one should. Alright, characters.
Awful. You want a number. 0.
Yeah, no, like, no one's discernible in character. Like, Cyclops Man and, like, weird face mask thing, like, half his face has a little bit of metal on it.
It's not even half his face, it's just around his eye.
He doesn't have a discernible personality. The main girl doesn't have a discernible personality. The robots probably have more personality, but that's
the robot did have a plot.
True. And honestly, the character with the most personality was a manifestation of an AI computer.
Yeah, and it sucked.
Yug. Fucking Yug. Yeah. Yeah, hit that shit with a 0. Animation.
Oh man, there was some animation. It was all so good and memorable, and maybe it deserves probably a -5.
I kind of want to give it a 5, ironically, out of how absolutely garbage it was. But I can't, not in good faith. The animation in this show, there are no discernible lip flaps. They just go wah 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 wah, and it's not even really synced up. And half the time, characters aren't emoting properly. They're supposed to be sad, but their mouth is just stuck in a permanent smile.
You say half the time. I'm pretty sure it's more closer to 90% of the time.
It's pretty shit. And then there's the time the character just spat out a fucking sucker. Oh my god. There was like a tiny bit of good animation towards the end, but then it was like 30 seconds of it, and then it just went back to being garbage.
Yeah, it was great.
Fuck it, 0. Genre strength, I'm giving this a 0. I don't know what genre this was supposed to be.
Sci-fi and action, supposedly.
Sci-fi action. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't feel the sci-fi. I didn't feel the action. I really didn't feel the action.
I saw the action, just there wasn't any weight to it.
Oh, dude, everyone was weightless and and they kept showing off a shitty section of the combat where, cyborg or android lady fights the maid, and it just looks like shit. Everything looks like shit. We didn't have a dub, so fuck that. Special mention. Like, the entire existence of this anime is a joke.
Yeah.
And
honestly, though, if we gotta narrow it down to one thing...
I know what it is.
Is it Skull Mask?
No.
Oh.
It's the intro. We watched it every time!
That's because it's so hard to skip. I can't just press R1.
You just did it a few times. We could have skipped it, but no. We had to sit there. Hello, hello. As we cut to glassy, unfeeling faces, rigidly stuck in time.
I mean, that's
and rotating like a model viewer.
And all the models were beautiful. All of them.
And then at the end, they light them all up and they all look like garbage.
Collective garbage.
I hate it. Fuck it.
No, it was good. What are you talking about?
I hate it. Intro. Do you want to just give it -1 so this whole thing gets a 0?
Yeah, we can do that.
Hell yeah.
Dang, I'm sorry, Skullman, you couldn't save it.
No, you couldn't. It wasn't enough. 0. This is our first 0. It deserves a 0. X-Arm is absolute garbage. Watch it.
Well, yeah, that's our rating. Go watch it.
Go watch it. It's a terrible time.
I mean, you might get a chuckle out of it.
Oh, we lost our fucking minds.
Yeah, so much so that you spilled your drink on my carpet.
I laughed so fucking hard I kicked over my drink. It just, and I couldn't contain my need to laugh every time the intro decided to look at his face, and the face they decided to choose was just the neutral, just the neutral face that, would be, stock for whatever 3D modeling shit they were using.
To be fair, though, it did look like a face you would make if you were about to get hit by a bus.
Debatable. I feel like there would be more shock and horror.
Yeah, I don't know.
That face was filled with nothing.
Well, if you guys watch it, please tell us if it looks like a face that you would make if you get hit by a bus.
It would be the face you would have after you got hit by the bus.
I don't think you'd have a face after you got hit by a bus.
It depends on how you got hit. His head had to be intact. They had his brain.
It doesn't mean anything. They could have just scooped it up off the sidewalk.
I don't know, man. He died in, 2014. I don't think they had the technology to just put the pieces back together.
Brooms existed. Just walk over, sweep it up in a caddy, and then just kind of just dump that into the brain egg, and yeah, and then they cloned it.
Yeah, and injected it with evil juice.
All right, well, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.